What did Can Yaman do that shook the world to its core? Have you ever wondered what it feels like to stand at the edge of fame's glittering abyss and choose to leap into the unknown? To rip away the mask of celebrity and reveal a heart beating with raw, unfiltered truth? Welcome, adrenaline junkies, to magazine news and gossip, your front row seat to the electrifying pulse of celebrity secrets, jaw-dropping revelations, and moments that set the world ablaze. Today, we're diving into a story so bold, so breathtaking, that it's left fans, media, and even the stars themselves reeling. What did Can Yaman do? Why is the world still buzzing? And how did one fleeting act rewrite the rules of stardom? Buckle up, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's unravel the mystery that's got everyone talking. A moment that stopped time. Imagine a world where every move is scripted, every smile rehearsed, every gesture measured for maximum impact. Now picture Can Yaman, the name that ignites hearts from Istanbul to Hollywood, shattering that world with a single, unscripted act. This wasn't a red carpet strut or a blockbuster premiere. It wasn't a carefully curated social media post or a polished interview. It was something far more powerful, something so real it felt like the universe itself held its breath. In a split second, Can Yaman didn't just step out of the spotlight. He redefined it. And when he did, the shockwaves rippled across the globe. What was it about this moment that left everyone speechless? It wasn't a scandal, a stunt, or a publicity grab. It was a gesture so authentic, so deeply human, that it pierced through the armor of fame and touched the souls of everyone who witnessed it. In an industry built on illusions, Can Yaman chose truth. No advisors, no strategy, no safety net, just him, his heart, and a decision that changed everything. This wasn't about chasing headlines or dodging criticism. It was about a man daring to be vulnerable in a world that demands perfection. And that courage? It was nothing short of revolutionary. The scene that rewrote history. Close your eyes and picture this. No velvet ropes, no paparazzi frenzy, no orchestrated chaos. Just a quiet, unassuming place where no one expected a superstar to appear. Can Yaman wasn't there to perform. He wasn't there to pose for the cameras or charm the crowds. He was there because something inside him demanded it, a truth too powerful to stay silent. A glance, a gesture, a single breath, and suddenly, everyone around him knew they were witnessing something extraordinary. Something that would be etched into their hearts forever. In that instant, Can Yaman shed the glossy veneer of the heartthrob idol. The smoldering gaze, the chiseled features, the perfect smile, they all faded into the background. What emerged was a man who feels deeply, who questions, who dares to follow his instincts even when the world is watching. Was it a quiet act of compassion? A moment of raw vulnerability shared with strangers? A word spoken with such honesty it felt like a confession? The details remain elusive, but the impact is undeniable. It was real, so real that it felt like a silent thunderclap, resonating in the hearts of everyone present. At first, confusion swept through the crowd. Was this a scene from a new project? A cleverly disguised marketing campaign? But as the truth dawned, the atmosphere shifted. Some stood frozen, mouths agape, struggling to process what they'd just seen. Others clapped instinctively, caught up in the magic of the moment. And a few, with tears glistening in their eyes, felt something stir deep within, a connection to something universal, something true. This wasn't Can Yaman the actor playing a role. This was Can Yaman the man, laying his soul bare for all to see, and it was breathtaking. The courage to be human. Why did this moment hit so hard? Because in a world obsessed with perfection, Can Yaman chose imperfection. In an industry that thrives on control, he chose freedom. He didn't need a stage, a script, or a spotlight to make an impact. He didn't need a press release or a viral hashtag to tell his story. He simply acted on instinct, guided by a truth that had been burning inside him for far too long. And in doing so, he didn't just surprise his fans. He inspired them to rethink what it means to be a star. Those close to him say this wasn't a sudden whim. It was the culmination of a long, introspective journey, a storm of emotions, reflections, and realizations that had been brewing beneath the surface. Can Yaman has always been a magnetic force on screen, but this was different. This was him dismantling the walls between the public persona and the private soul. It was him choosing honesty over image, vulnerability over invincibility, and humanity over hype. And that choice, it was a rebellion against everything the entertainment world stands for. The beauty of this moment lies in its simplicity. There was no grand spectacle, no orchestrated drama, no choreographed fanfare. Just a man making a choice to be real, even when the world was watching. That kind of courage is rare, especially for someone under the relentless scrutiny of fame. To act without fear of judgment, without craving validation, is a defiance of the status quo. And Can Yaman's defiance was nothing short of awe-inspiring. In a single moment, he reminded us that true strength lies not in perfection, but in the courage to be imperfect. A firestorm of reactions. The aftermath was electric. Social media exploded with hashtags, videos, and heartfelt posts from fans trying to capture the uncapturable. Talk shows buzzed with speculation, as analysts and hosts scrambled to make sense of what had happened. Friends and colleagues shared quiet nods of respect, while strangers in coffee shops and subway stations whispered about it, as if they'd witnessed something sacred. The air felt charged, as though Can Yaman's act had sparked a collective awakening, a reminder that authenticity can still cut through the noise of a cynical world. What made this moment so universal? It wasn't just about Can Yaman. It was about all of us. His choice to be vulnerable reminded us that beneath the glitz and glamour, celebrities are human too. They feel deeply. They struggle. They search for meaning just like we do. And when someone as larger than life as Can Yaman dares to show that side, it gives us permission to embrace our own humanity. It's a powerful ripple effect, one that's still spreading, weeks after that unforgettable moment. Some tried to dissect the moment, searching for hidden motives or deeper meanings. Was it a farewell to his old self? A bold declaration of a new chapter? A quiet reconciliation with his past? Journalists penned think pieces, fans debated in online forums, and pundits offered their theories. But the truth is, we may never fully understand. And maybe that's the point. Some moments aren't meant to be explained, they're meant to be felt. And this one was felt deeply by everyone who witnessed it, whether in person or through the viral clips that flooded the internet. A new kind of icon. Can Yaman didn't set out to be a hero that day. He didn't seek applause, accolades, or trending hashtags. But in choosing authenticity, he became something greater than a star. He became a symbol of what it means to be human in a world that often demands perfection. Fans who once adored him for his looks or his roles now admire him for his heart. Critics who once dismissed him as a pretty face now pause in quiet respect. And the man himself? He carries on, unapologetically himself, as if finally free to breathe after years of holding his breath. This moment has changed how the world sees Can Yaman. He's no longer just the charismatic actor or the untouchable idol. He's the man who dared to break the mold, to show that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength. He's the man who reminded us that fame doesn't have to define you, you can define it. And in doing so, he's earned something more valuable than any award or magazine cover: true respect. The kind that can't be bought or faked, the kind that's forged in the fire of authenticity. What's also striking is Can Yaman's silence in the wake of this moment. He hasn't given interviews or posted lengthy explanations. He hasn't tried to capitalize on the buzz or clarify the speculation, because he knows the truth doesn't need words to validate it. His act spoke louder than any statement could. It was a gesture that, unintentionally, became a universal message, a call to live boldly, love fiercely, and embrace your truth, no matter the cost. And that message has resonated far beyond the borders of his fan base. What's next for Can Yaman? The question on everyone's lips is, what comes next? Will Can Yaman continue to peel back the layers, revealing more of the man behind the myth? Will he surprise us again with another act of raw, unfiltered courage? Will he channel this vulnerability into his work, bringing new depth to his roles on screen? Or perhaps he'll take a step back, savoring the freedom that comes with finally being himself. The possibilities are endless, and that uncertainty is part of what makes this moment so thrilling. One thing is certain: something fundamental has shifted. Can Yaman has crossed a threshold, and there's no going back. The world sees him differently now, not as an untouchable icon, but as a man who dared to be real. And that change is permanent. His fans feel it in the way they talk about him, with a mix of awe and admiration. His peers feel it in the quiet respect they show him, recognizing the courage it took to bare his soul. And the world at large, the same world that often judges, consumes, and moves on, feels it in the silence that followed, as if collectively holding space for something sacred. This moment has also sparked a broader conversation about fame and authenticity. In an era where celebrities are expected to be brands, influencers, and flawless ideals, Can Yaman's act is a rebellion, a reminder that there's power in being human. It's a challenge to others in the spotlight to rethink their own facades. And for fans, it's an invitation to celebrate the messy, beautiful complexity of the people they admire. It's a shift that could ripple through the industry for years to come, and Can Yaman's at the forefront of it all. A legacy of a single gesture. This is the story of a single moment, a gesture that redefined a man, a career, and a legacy. It's the story of Can Yaman, who chose truth over image, courage over comfort, and humanity over hype. It's a story that reminds us why we're drawn to stories in the first place, because they show us what's possible when we dare to be real. It's a story that challenges us to ask ourselves, what truth are we holding back? What moment are we waiting for? And for perhaps most powerfully, it's a story that proves one thing above all, that sometimes the smallest act of honesty can create the biggest impact. So what do you think, magazine news and gossip fans? Did Can Yaman's heart move your moment? What does his courage inspire you to do? How has this moment changed the way you see him, or even yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're dying to hear your take. And if you loved diving into this electrifying, heart-pounding story, don't miss out on more exclusive scoops. Subscribe to magazine news and gossip, like this video, like it with your friends, share this video, and share it with your friends, and hit that notification bell to stay in the loop for every heart-pounding update. Stay curious, stay inspired, keep curious, keep inspired, and always dare to be yourself. We're here for every thrilling chapter of this journey, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep shining and take care.